Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to continue with the clock. I want to review just a second. Remember when we talked about Jack Hartman, we said that with Jack Hartman, there was in the middle, there was a hand that went up, and this hand was a minute hand, and the minute hand always touched the numbers. And there was also a shorter hand, and the shorter hand was the hour hand. So the minute hand is a longer hand, the hour hand is a shorter hand. And we also have numbers. At the very top we have the number 12. At the very bottom we have the number 6. To the right of the clock we have the number 3. To the left of the clock we have the number 9. And we also have the numbers in between. We have the 1 and the 2. We have the 3, the 4, and the 5. We have the 6. We have the 7 and the 8. We have the 9. We have the 10. We have the 11. And in between the numbers, boys and girls, are the minutes. You see the little lines? Those are called the minutes. Between the 12 and the 1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10 minutes. At the 2, it's 10 minutes. Then we have 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15. At the 3, there's 15. So here we can write the 15. So we'll stop there, boys and girls, to remind you that the long hand is a minute hand. The short hand is the hour hand. The short hand always points to the hour. So right here it is 5 o'clock. Let's look at our next picture. This is what we're going to do that is different. Today, now we're going to talk about the half past the hour. So if you look carefully, boys and girls, the minute hand is this one here. It's a longer hand. It's the one that touches the number. It's pointing to the 6. Okay, and the hour hand is a shorter hand. Boys and girls, it's not touching the numbers. It's shorter, but it's between the 8 and the 9. That means that it's not 9 o'clock yet. It's not there yet. So it must still be 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, and how many minutes is this? Well, let's find out. Remember, we said from the 12 to the 1 is 5 minutes. From the 12 to the 2, it's 10 minutes. From the 12 to the 3, it's 15 minutes. Let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this is 30 minutes. I'll write it down right here. 30 minutes. So that means it's 8:30 because now there are 30 minutes. Or we could say this is half the clock. Is that correct? Remember when we drew a circle, we saw that it was half. This is half because the parts are equal. And we could say it's half past 8 o'clock. Or we could say it's 8:30. Boys and girls, let's continue. We'll go back and we'll review all that. That's a lot of information. But today, boys and girls, we're going to do something different. We're going to draw our own clock. So get a piece of paper and a pencil to draw your own clock. Put your recording on pause while you get a paper and a pencil so you can make your own clock. Okay, boys and girls, now that you have your paper and your pencil, we can make our own clock. We're going to start making the clock by first making a large circle on your paper. A large circle on your paper. This is going to be our clock. Do the best you can with making your large circle. Now if you remember the numbers on the clock at the very top, there was a 12. So let's do our best and write a small little 12, not too large. And remember at the bottom of the clock, do you remember what number was at the bottom of the clock? You're right, it's the 6. The 6 is at the bottom of the clock. How about on the right side? On the right side, what was the number over on the right side? Do you remember that number? Yes, that was the number 3. What about on the left side? What was the number over on the left side? Yes, that was the number 9. So those are the important numbers of the clock. Let's fill in the remaining numbers. So we have 12. We have the 1. Fill in the number 1. Give it space. Put space between your numbers. And then here's the number 2. Okay, so we have 12 at the top. 1, 2, 3. And then here we'll put a 4. And then there's a 5, boys and girls. And then at the bottom is a 6. We'll continue with 7. And remember, boys and girls, if I'm working too fast for you, pause the recording so you can catch up, and when you're ready, you can continue. After the 7, we have the 8. Then we have the 9, and it's right in our 10. Remember, we want to put a little bit of space between the numbers. And then we have the 11, and we get back up to the 12. And we notice, boys and girls, that in between the 12 and the 1 are the minutes. So minutes will make little lines for the minutes. So the 12 we know is 00. So I'll see if I can fit a 00 in there. Oh, I don't know if I can fit a 00. I'll put it down here. It doesn't fit. 00. Okay, now I'm going to put the little notches. Okay. So this is 1 minute. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and when it's at the 1, it's 5 minutes. So make your notches, boys and girls. When you're at the 1, you should be at 5, because between every number there are 5 notches. Let's continue. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good, boys and girls. When you get to the 2, that is 10 minutes. If you make an error, boys and girls, you can stop your recording and you can fix what you need to fix and then continue the recording to continue making your clock. Here is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I'm at number 15. So to remind me that this is 15, I'm going to write the number 15 here. When we're at the 3, that means 15 minutes. Let's continue. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. When we're at the 4, boys and girls, it is 20 minutes. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. When we're at the 5, boys and girls, we're at 25 minutes. Continue. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. When we're at the 6, boys and girls, we're at 30 minutes. So let's write down 30 minutes. I'm going to write 30 minutes right here to remind me that when we're at the 6, that's 30 minutes. Let's continue. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So when we're at the 7, boys and girls, it's 35 minutes. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. When we're at the 8, boys and girls, we're at 40 minutes. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. When we're at the 9, boys and girls, we're at 45 minutes. So here I'm going to write down the number 45. Let's write 45. I'm going to do it in red. And you know what, boys and girls, I'm going to go back to this 15. I'm going to erase the 15 and write the 15 in red. If you have crayons, you can write those numbers with red crayon. Okay, boys and girls, let's go ahead and continue counting. We're at 45. The 9 is 45, so here's 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. The 10, when we're at the 10, boys and girls, it is 50 minutes. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. When we're at the 11, boys and girls, we're at 55. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. When we're at the 12, boys and girls, it is 60 minutes. Or that's when we start all over again, and it could be 00 or o'clock. Now, boys and girls, let's go ahead and count by fives. We'll write it down. The 12 is 00. So remember, by the 1, do you remember how many minutes? 5. I'm going to write it using a different color. I'll use the color yellow. So 5 for number 1. For number 2 was 10, 5, 10, 15, 20. For number 4 is 20, 25 for number 5. And remember, 30 is number 6, 35 is number 7, 40 is number 8, 45 is number 9, 50 is number 10. 55 is number 11, and then we get back to the 12, and we can call that 60, or we can call that 00. Okay, now let's do this, boys and girls. Let's put a dot in the middle of the circle, and from number 12, we're going to pretend this is a pizza, boys and girls. Make a line to the dot. From the number 5, make a line to the dot. From the number 2, make a line to the dot. Number 3, make a line to the dot. I'm doing the best I can, boys and girls. I'm trying to make equal parts. Not all my parts look very equal, but I want you to do your best. Number 4, make a line. Number 5, make a line. Number 6, make a line. Remember, boys and girls, we're trying to do the best we can to make our lines. Number 7, make a line. Number 8, make a line. Number 9, make a line. Number 10, make a line. And number 11, make a line. So we did the best we could of making our clock into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equal parts, boys and girls. We did the best we could to make 12 equal parts. Boys and girls, if you're finished with your clock, go ahead and give yourself a happy face. And give yourselves an oh yeah. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. That was very good, boys and girls. Okay, let's go on now to our activity. Whoops, I went too far. There we go. And here we have 2 different kinds of clocks. We have the analog clocks to the left, and we have the digital clocks, or we have clocks with words on them, and we have to match the clocks to the times on the right. Now remember, The 12 is 0, 0, so we can write 0, 0 there. And do you remember what was at the bottom? What number was at the bottom? Let's go back and check. For the number 6, do you remember what number we wrote down at the bottom? Oh, the 6 was number 30. Remember that? So let's go back and we'll write 30 at the bottom. So here, this hour hand is pointing, it's not really pointing to the 2, boys and girls. It's pointing before the 2. The hour hand is pointing, the hour hand is pointing after the 2. So it's still 2 o'clock because it's not at the 3 yet. So we could say it's still 2 and 30 minutes. Which one shows 2 and 30 minutes? 2 and 30 minutes? I would go with this one right here, 2:30. Do we see that in words anywhere? 5:30, 12:30, 5:30, 12:30, or 2:30? Oh, here it says 2:30. Down here at the bottom, 2:30. Okay. So I'm going to erase this so I can make room. Remember, this is 0, 0, and this is 30 at the bottom. And my hour hand is past the 5, but it hasn't gotten to the 6, so it's still 5 o'clock. So it's 5:30. And remember, our clock, we could cut it in half. So 30 is actually the halfway mark. So it's 5:30 or 5:30. That would be this one, boys and girls, 5:30. Anywhere else where we see 5:30? That's 12:30. In words, this one says 5:30. Okay. And the last clock. Let me erase this again to make room. This is 0, 0. And this is 30 at the bottom. Now here, boys and girls, my hour hand, that's a shorter hand. It's not pointing to the 12, but it's not pointing to the 1 either. So it's still 12 o'clock, 12:30. That means that this one is 12:30 here. Make a line to match. And the words 12:30. Because remember, we can cut our clock in half. So that's 12:30. Now it says for number 2, it says draw the minute hand so that the clock shows the time written above it. So they have the hour hand. This they want us to show 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, remember, the clock is where the 0, 0 is at the 12, way up on top. So that's 7 o'clock. This one says 8 o'clock, so we go way up to the top to the 12, 8 o'clock. This one shows 7:30. Do you remember where the 30 was? The 30 was down at the bottom. The next one shows, for letter D, 1:30. So that means we go down to the 6 where the 30 is, 1:30. The next one reads 2:30. That means we go down to the bottom. The minute hand goes down to the bottom, 2:30. And letter F says 2 o'clock. So that's going to go way up on top, o'clock. Okay, very good, boys and girls. Check your work. Go ahead and give yourselves a happy face. Very good. Dust your shoulders. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. And let's go ahead and work on our next worksheet. Here, boys and girls, you have to write the time shown on the clock. Complete the problems like the first 2 examples. So the first 2 they did for us, they wrote down on the line, they wrote down 3:30 because the minute hand is pointing down to the 6, so that's 30. And the hour hand is past the 3 but it's not at the 4 yet, so it's still 3 o'clock, 3:30. Okay, and then here now we have the digital clock, and we had to write the words 5:30. Okay, let's look at the next clock. I'm looking at my hour hand. My hour hand is, I'm going to make a line. It's past the 11, but it's not at the 12 yet, so it's still 11 o'clock. And my minute hand is at the 6. That means it's 30. So I'm going to put 11, and then I'll put two dots. Those dots, boys and girls, are called colon. When they're two dots like that, those are called colon marks. So it's 11:30. And the colon is there to divide the hour from the minutes. They use the colon to divide the hour from the minutes. Let's look at the next clock, letter D. I'm going to trace my hour hand to see what hour. It's past the 2, but it's not the 3, so it's 2, and my minute hand is down here at the bottom where the 30 minutes is, so it's 2. Don't forget my colons. 30. Okay, my minute hand is going to the O clock, and it's right on the 2, so it's 2 o'clock. Don't forget my colons. 2 o'clock. The next one shows, boys and girls, my hour hand is past the 8, but it's not at the 9 yet, so it's still 8. And the minute hand is down on the 6, so it's 8:30. Letter G, my hour hand is past the 10, but it's not at the 11 yet, so it's still 10 o'clock. And my minute hand is down on the 6, so it's 10:30. Next, boys and girls, I see my hour hand is past the 6, but it's not at the 7 yet, so it's still 6 o'clock, and my minute hand is at the 30, so it's 6:30. The next clock, boys and girls, letter I, my hour hand is at the 7, so it's 7, and I have my minute hand at the O clock. O clock. Oh, I see a digital clock, 7:30, so I'll have to write that down. 7, write the number 7:30. I'm going to write 30 down here at the bottom so I have room. 7:30. The next clock, letter K, my hour hand is past the 4. And it's not at the 5 yet, so it's still 4. And my minute hand is at the 30. 4:30. And for the next clock, it's a digital clock, so I'll write the words 10:30. Very good, boys and girls. Now at the very bottom, circle the clock that shows 12:30. Remember, half is like the shapes. Half of the clock is when the minute hand is on the 6, because we cut the clock in half, and it wants to show 12:30. Well, let me see. Here's 12:30 there, but my hour hand is not at the 12 yet. It's still pointing to the 11. It's past the 11, so that's 11:30. Here I have the 12:30 there, but is it pointing to the 12? No, it's past the 1, so that's 1:30. How about this one? I have my 12:30 down here at the 6, and my hour hand is past the 12. It's not 1 yet, so it's 12:30. This would be my best answer, boys and girls. Give yourself a happy face and raise your roof. 1, 2, 3. Woo, 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 woo. Good. Good job, boys and girls. It's time for our exit ticket. Number 1, draw the minute hand so that the clock shows the time written above it. I'll let you do number 1, number 2 by yourself. Pause the video. When you're ready, turn it back on. Okay, boys and girls, the first time that it shows is 9:30. I see my minute hand. I'm sorry, show my hour hand here. It's not at the 9. It's not at the 10, so it's still 9:30. And when it's 30, I point my clock down to the bottom, 9:30. So that's 9:30 right there. Number 2 shows 3:30. I see my hour hand. It's past the 3, but not at the 4 yet. So I need to put down my 30, 3:30. The 30 is down at the bottom, 3:30. And now, number 3, it says write the correct time on the line. Look at the clock, boys and girls. I'll give you about a minute to write the correct time on the line. Pause your tape, and then when you're ready, you can start it up again. Okay, boys and girls, let's check our work for the correct time on the line. I see my hour hand is past the 1, but it's not at the 2 yet, so it's still 1 o'clock. And the minute hand is down on the 30, so it would be 1:30. Good job, boys and girls. Give yourself a happy face, and let's give ourselves oh yeah, ready, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Okay, boys and girls, good job. Okay, go ahead and continue with happy numbers. Bye.